Hi everybody, it's Belinda from Belinda's Book Nook, and I meant to do a video last week so we could talk about what I wanted to read for March, and talk about March Mystery Madness, and I don't know what happened. Did it happen? I can't remember what happened on Friday, so it just didn't happen. So here I am trying to play catch up before the month's over to tell you what I'm thinking about reading. So I have picked some books to read. I have started already. I have finished all of my, with the exception of one that I knew was going to bleed over, and I think it's just going to be in the background. When I finish it, I finish it. Books for February, and I will definitely do a video with my wrap up for February. I feel like that one can wait for me to do the TBR for March because I didn't want to wait till the end of March to tell you what I wanted to read. So I thought that this would be the one I would do now. So, okay. So for March, there's March Mystery Madness, there's Women's History Month, and for March Mystery Madness, I will link information for people that don't know or just want to find out what this year their challenges are. I always go with the whole thing. If you read a mystery, then you've participated, and that's exactly, what they say is that as long as you read at least one, you've done it. But I think this year, if I remember correctly, it's reading in different decades. Like they have different ways of doing it. Where you could read in different decades, or you could have a book that has a dual timeline with different times, obviously. And there are, there's a lot of really fun ways to interpret that. But what I didn't want to do was force me to buy anything. I could borrow things, but I didn't want to buy anything. And I'm trying to chip away at my bookshelf because if you hear a noise, can you hear that? Ella's panting. She's right down here. She just went running and then she wants to sit here. So, and I try to get her out, but if I take her out, she'll scratch on the door. So I apologize if you do hear her panting. I'll try to talk louder than her. Her panting. So anyway, okay, what was I saying? Okay, so I basically did not really follow any of the rules so much. So, well, I should say that I did. I picked a book. One of my books, is a dual timeline. And that one I've already started and I'm actually pretty far. I'm like 3/4 of the way through it already. I'm like cranking. And that's The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Now this one, if you remember, I got this. I have to look on my app because I put all my information there. I think I got this last year at the library sale when I was with my friend. I'm pretty sure that's when I got this. So I'm proud of myself because we'll be coming up on that next one and I'll have read it before then. I always feel bad when I go to a new one and I'm like, I still have the, and I never leave without a bag full of books. So I'm like, so I feel happy. This is one of those books. I will read it to you. The description because I'm really crappy about always describing books, but I am enjoying it. It says a forgotten history, a secret network of women, a legacy of poison and revenge. Welcome to the Lost Apothecary. Hidden in the depths of 18th century London, a secret apothecary shop caters to the unusual kind of clientele. Women across the city whisper of mysterious figure named Nella, who sells well-disguised poisons to use against the oppressive men in their lives. And then it goes forward to 200 years later, and there's an aspiring historian named Caroline Parswell discovers an aged apothecary vial in the River Thames, and as she's newly grappling with a scarring betrayal of her husband's infidelity. So that's I guess it's better than I would have done. I'm enjoying reading both timelines. Like looking back, I think it's like, it says 18th century London. You've got these women that are, dissatisfied with certain things that are occurring in their marriages, whether it be infidelity, or if it's, abuse, physical abuse. And so this woman, Nella, is putting together concoctions for them. And then when you come into the present day, when you're following Caroline, she is discovered, which is just said, that her husband had cheated on her, and she was supposed to go on this great trip with him, and she ended up going by herself. And then the story follows her present day in London, in the past, with Nella and company. I won't talk too much about that, but it's very good. It's very good so far. Like I said, I'm 3/4 of the way, so I will knock this puppy out probably in a day or two. So there's that. And that one I'm going to just use as my March Mystery Madness, that follows along with the way they're doing the challenge. The rest of them are just mysteries. And so then the next one that I have, I did a buddy read with my sister. Do I have it? Oh boy. Let me see. Do I have a copy of it? Oh, yeah. I'm reading, or I finished it already, but it was a cozy mystery with my sister. And it's a series by an author that I actually have met and talked with her. And her name is Barbara Ross. And the book is Clammed Up. It's the first of her main series. What is it? She calls it the main Clam Bake Mystery Series. And this is what the cover looks like. I don't know if this will get bigger because I'm on this. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you can see it. Good. But it was really cute. I read that one with her. A very fast read, nice, just to kind of like a cozy mystery. It was, also, I felt like I was hungry a lot because she described food in the book a lot, and started to listen to oh my gosh, I'm getting very hungry. So that one I've already read, and that was one that I'm going to count to March Mystery Madness, even though it's not necessarily a time issue. You could also do, it could be that the stories are from different decades, or they were published, the books themselves. But this was just published, not too long ago. So I don't, I'll look at the dates. Maybe I can cheat and look at the publication dates for these books as well. Another one, oh, did I bring it? Oh, no. I don't have it. I'm going to go grab it. But let me finish showing you these first. This is the new me. Like, I'm not stopping it. I'm going to just go run and get it. I think it's on my table. But let me tell you some of the other ones that I wanted to read for March Mystery Madness. Another book that I bought. I bought this one, The Verifiers by Jane Peck. I've had this, and you all have seen this. If you've stuck with me and been here for a while, you will know that I bought this at the Boston Book Festival. 2, maybe 3. Ella, do not knock things over. Come sit down. No. Go back that way. Go around that way. Oh boy. Okay. If I don't look at her, maybe she won't knock everything over. But I'm just afraid she's gonna hear a DOG, and then it's gonna be like loud barking, and I'm gonna have to stop recording that. But I bought this a couple of years ago. Point of the thing of me bringing this up, and I wanted to read this one, and so I'm hoping maybe I'll get to it. It would be really nice because I am tracking books that are on my shelf, but how long? Really? I have like a pile of books over here. No judgment, anyone. I have 2 pile of books over here. She has wedged herself between the 2 of them. I feel that something bad's going to happen. Okay. She's going to knock stuff over. Why are you sitting there? Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. So I've had this for a while. I want to try to get to it. And the story is about, I don't even remember now. I just like started picking up books when I was like, oh, March is coming. Let me pick some books. And then I was like, oh, let me get this one. I haven't read it. It doesn't look that long. A clever and thought-provoking mystery laced with wit and insight. That's the review. Claudia Lynn is used to disregarding her fractious family's model minority expectations. She has no interest in finding either a conventional career or a nice Chinese boy. She also used to keeping things from them, such as that she prefers girls and that she has just been recruited by Veracity, an online dating detective agency in New York with its own secrets. A lifelong mystery reader who wrote her senior thesis on Jane Austen, Claudia can't imagine a job more fun or to her family's less suitable. When a client goes missing, things are falling over here. Claudia starts digging deeper than she's supposed to, right into a maelstrom of intrigue and deceit. Part literary mystery, part immigrant family story that verifies the witty, incisive, oh my God, stop moving, dog. Incisive examination of how technology shapes our voices and the nature of romantic love in the digital age. I'm sorry. You can only see what I'm seeing. So this one sounds really good. And since then, she's written some more. I think she's written at least one other or another book. So if I do like it, I can give the next one a shot. So there is a bonus to not reading it right away. I have to find the bright side on that. So there's that one. Not touched yet, but would like to. Another one that I have in here is called, and I just heard about this one recently. I can't remember, it was on a podcast, and I was like, oh, that sounds really good. Let me find it. I found the audiobook for this one. It's called Oh, did I tell you? I said Jane Peck, right? I don't remember if I tell you everything. This one is called Nosy Neighbors, and it's by Freya Sampson. And the cover, oh my gosh, why did I put it on this? Because it's like so small. Oh, can I click it? No, it's not really letting me make it bigger. It looks like this. You can see them like looking through the peephole or what have you. So this one, hold on. I'll tell you about this one. And I think it's a retirement home, which I just, there was a TV show on recently with Ted Danson, and he was in a, he was pretending to be in this nursing home to discover and find out what happened with somebody that had passed away. And I absolutely loved it. I can't remember the name of it if any of you have watched it. I think it was on Netflix. And I do think I heard, or maybe I was hoping, that they put a second season, that they're working on a second season of it. But it was just really darling and sweet. And so this kind of made me think of it, just because it was set in a retirement home here. So it says, nothing brings neighbors together like someone else's secrets at Shelley House. The walls have ears, and they're attached to a ragtag duo of busybodies ready to pry, snoop, and generally annoy their neighbors into solving a crime. 77-year-old Dorothy Darling has lived in Shelley House longer than any of the other residents, and if you take their word for it, she's as cantankerous as they come. But Dorothy has her reasons for spying, and none of them require justifying herself to Kate Bennett. 25-year-old Kate has never known a place where she felt truly at home, and crumbling Shelley House is no different. Her neighbors find her prickly and unapproachable, but beneath her tough exterior, it's Cat. It's not Kate. It's Cat. There's no E. Kat's plagued by a guilty secret from her past. When their apartments face demolition, sworn enemies Kat and Dorothy agree on just one thing. They must save the historic building. And then it goes on. But it sounds like it's going to be funny and just delightful. And on that note, I also have another, you're going to see a theme here. This other one that I've owned for a little bit, just a little bit, that everybody talks about, is The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. And this is another one that's similar to this one here. I would love to get to this one too. Will it happen? Probably not. I don't know, because I'm not that fast to read. But I would love to get like things that are on my shelf read, so I can decide whether I want to keep them on my shelf or not. But this one seems people like, when you go in the books, when you go into the bookstore, I already have a bookmark ready for it. When you go into the bookstore, there's like, they'll have all of his books in there. And he's got this new one that's come out, We Solve Murders. It just came out in September, passed in September. And so I'm like, okay, there might be something to it. There's a lot of them there, so that is an option. Okay, now, what did I cover all of them? Nosy Neighbor, The Thursday Murder Club, The Lost Apothecary, Clammed Up. Those are those are the ones, and the verifiers. Those are the ones I want to do for March Mystery Madness. Now, for Women's History Month, I was almost going to not do it, and because there's something I want to read this year that I also own, and I was going to do it later. this year. But then I heard on, oh my goodness, what is the name of that podcast? Oh my gosh, it's blinking. A podcast I was listening to was talking about the book that they were going to read this month, and it's going to come to me, and I can't believe I can't remember. And I was like, oh, this is a heavy book. I got this book also at the Boston Book Festival, and I got it in 2019. I feel like it was 2019. I could be wrong. And I was like, maybe this is my opportunity. This is a sign that I should read it. And then they were going to on the podcast. Oh my gosh, I can see the image of it for the thumbnail. I can't think of the name of it. Anyhow, she brings on an author. She talks with them, and then they will read a book together. And this is the book that they're reading for this month. And I was like, well, maybe I could, at least. I'm not in their book club, but I could at least hear like people talking about the book, because you read something like this, you probably want to talk to somebody about it. So, but the name of it is "They Were Her Property: White Women as Slave Owners in American South" by Stephanie E. Jones Rogers. And see, as you can hear by the title, it's gonna be heavy, and so I thought this might be a sign. So I did start, I just read like a few pages of it, and I've already started flagging it, and I got some coordinating age flags to go with this. So here we go. These are the ones I'm going to use for this. This is the cover of the book. And it's not, it's not huge, but it's going to be heavy, so it's going to feel huge. Oh, I just pulled that out of my page, didn't I? What did I say? 4 pages. Yeah. I'm writing in it too, so I can tell where I am. So this one, as the title says, it talks about, history is when I grew up, it didn't talk really about white women with regard to when we talk about slavery. They were just kind of the wives. They were kind of in the background. They weren't involved with the maintenance or the buying or anything with regard to slavery. And this book turns that on its head and shows and demonstrates from records that there were female white women slave owners, and that sometimes they were widowers, because there were some that were widowers, and then when they were married, then they would have to give control to the male. But there were others that were they were just from wealthy families. They had I don't know, how either inherited or bequeathed some slaves, or they bought them with their money. And even if they did marry, they still maintained control, and they weren't passive. Many of the women that she's found were actually very active in of the whole upkeep of whole owning and enslaving people. So I really wanted to read it. So I thought it would be something, I love to see, now that all right, don't say that, Belinda. Okay, books like this may not be around for long, so I did wanted to get an opportunity to read and learn a little bit more about this aspect in history. And so, although it is dark chapter, I do want to read it. And I was able to meet the author. Here's a picture of the author here, her Stephanie E. Jones Rogers. That's her there. And she signed it to me. Oh, where is it? Yeah. So I love that. That makes me really happy. So, yeah. So I think that's really cool. So will I finish this? Let's just be real. Between now and the end of this month, I don't know. I mean, I'm going through it. Like I said, I read 4 pages and then I went and made dinner. We'll see how I feel. Like if it really just gets so heavy, it may take a while. Maybe one that goes through months. And then when I've decided that if a book don't finish it, there's a DNF, and then there's things that are just going to be slow reads. This could be a slow read, and whenever I finish it, I will talk to you guys about it. And with regards to my book journal, I will enter it in this month. If I feel that I am committed and I've made it far enough, then I will just leave it in that month. And whenever I finish it, I'll come back into that month's entry and I'll put my thoughts there, and I'll put the end date of when I finish the book. But I've started it this month. So that's going to be my Women's History Month. It's a heavy one, but there's that. And then I thought I'd just share with you, because today I went by Savers to do a donation, and you know what happens when instead of just dropping and going, I always go inside. And I found two good books, I think. So I thought I'd show you those before I get out of here. One is by Ken Follett, who I have really wanted to read for a very long time. I can't think of the name of his series. And they had made a movie of it, or a TV series of it. And I really wanted to, really wanted to, read his books. And every time I see them, I get the chunk like hives, because it's a chunkster. Okay. Because I mean, let's just face it. He doesn't write anything small. And they are like epic. So I am going to get off of that one day and read his book. What is it called? Let me see. Is that what it's called? Is it the Century Trilogy? Nope. That's not it. I can't remember the name of it. It's something giant. The Pillar of the Earth. The Pillars of the Earth. It's the Kingsbridge book series. And that's the one I wanted to read. And I really enjoy maybe what I'll do. I'm looking here. They have it on Kindle. Maybe that's the way, because it's big. But I've always been fascinated with it and wanted to read his books. Anyway, this is not that. So all of that just to say, it is not those books. But I found this book, which I thought was really interesting. And it's called The Third Twin. And it's by Ken Follett. And here is what the description says. So I'm going to give it a shot. In this scorching contemporary thriller, Ken Follett has crafted an electrifying tale of a chilling possibility of genetic manipulation. Jeannie Farami, a brilliant young research scientist studying the genetic compounds of aggression, makes a startling discovery. Using a restricted FBI database, she locates two young men who appear to be identical twins, Steve, a law student, and Dennis, a convicted murderer. Yet they were born on different days to different mothers in hospitals hundreds of miles apart. When she delves into their backgrounds, forces as powerful as the Pentagon and the New York Times take notice. The more she learns, the worse it gets. Steve is accused of a terrible crime, which he swears he did not commit. As Jeannie finds herself falling in love with him, she has to ask herself how she can be sure he is different from his murderous twin brother. When her life is threatened, she realizes there's much more than just a scientific problem facing her. Unwittingly, she has stumbled upon evidence of a conspiracy involving a top biotech company, right-wing politician, and her own university. The aim is as shocking as it is technologically possible in this era of genetic manipulation. Da, 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 da. I just think that sounds like an edge of your seat. Like, you can see this like a movie. I was like, this could be great this summer. Like, I think this is would be a good beach read. This could be great on my deck. I mean, it just sounded like, a good thriller. So I picked it up. But guess what? The prices have gone up at Savers. Is now $3.99. That's $4. Like, I think there were two. I think paperbacks were one. No. Paperbacks are still the same price as the hardcover. So, even they're getting inflated. Yeah, I'm going to take this out. This one, I have wanted to read this author for a long time. And, big old sticker. And I own one of her books, but I have not read that yet. And that one is not part of this series. This one, it's coming. Oh, it's almost off. I'm almost got it off. The book is called Trail of Lightning, The Sixth World, by Rebecca Roanhorse. And she's a Indigenous author. And I've always wanted to read her. And when I saw it, I got excited. I mean, it's a little dog-eared here, right? It's a little janky. But I'm still okay with it. I can look at it's floppy, which makes me happy. I didn't have to pay full price. I paid $4 for it. I think it's going to be just fine. And I just took the sticker off of it. And it is a little bit down here, so dented. If I really think it's so magnificent, I want to, no. I'll just go get another book. But for me just to find out if I get along with it. Anyway, the back says, while most of the world has drowned beneath the sudden rise of waters of a climate apocalypse, Dinata, Dinata, oh boy, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Formerly the Navajo reservation has been reborn. The gods and heroes of legend walk the land, but so do monsters. Maggie Hosky is a Dinata monster hunter, a supernaturally gifted killer. When a small town needs help finding a missing girl, Maggie is their last best hope. But what Maggie uncovers about the monster is much more terrifying than anything she could imagine. Maggie reluctantly enlists the aid of Kai Arveso, an unconventional medicinal man, and together they travel the res, unraveling clues from ancient legends, trading favors with tricksters, and battling dark witchcraft in a patchwork world of deteriorating technology. As Maggie discovers the truth behind the killings, she will have to confront her past if she wants to survive. Welcome to the sixth world. I think it sounds good. I really want to read it. I know. I told you this year is going to be I'm going to be all over the place. So don't expect to find everything the same on this channel. I will be reading all sorts of things. And this one, I'm so excited. The other one I have, I can't think of the name of it, but I know it's over there somewhere. I just definitely want to read this. I forgot to tell you. So the other book that I had, there's one more book for March Mystery Madness, and I don't see it here. What is the name of it? It's by Eleanor. Wait a minute. I'm going to grab it. You stay right there. Just stay right there. Don't move. I know I've been just gabbing, but I just want to tell you, I forgot that one. Wait a minute. One second. Ella, stay there too. Stay right there. Okay. All right. Here it is. I forgot. Whispers in the Dark by Eleanor Taylor Bland, a Marty McAllister mystery. I did start this one. I'm about, I'm about 60. I'm 60 in this one. I thought it was like 40. My bookmark says, unless it fell asleep and it fell out and I stuck it in the wrong place. It says I'm about 68 pages in. So it's not that, maybe a quarter of the way through the book. It's good so far. I own a bunch of hers that I bought used, and I had read some back. I had read one or two long time ago, and I probably would read it and not know that I read it because I can't remember. So I'm trying to. And the reason why I picked this up, I think this is the 6th in her series, is because this one she ends up going to the Bahamas. So I was really cold when I was like looking for a book, and I was like, oh, I want to get a Black author, mystery writer. And I was like, I have a little shelf over there with a lot of her books and some other ones that are older classic ones, I guess. And so I looked at hers and I looked at a couple other ones, and then I read this one. I was like, yeah, this is the one, because she's gonna end up there. But it's Eleanor Taylor Bland's popular African-American heroine, homicide detective Marty McAllister, and her partner are assigned a most unusual case. Beware, it is a little bit gory. All that's left of the unfortunate murder victim is an arm. Yeah. So this is not cozy. My sister cracked up because I read the book with her, and then I started reading this one, and I'm like, yeah, they're not at all the kind that, one is more like, Murder, She Wrote, and this one is a little bit darker. And so it says, their investigation leads them into the exclusive and secretive history of the, artistic community in Lincoln Prairie, Illinois. Meanwhile, Marty's troubled best friend, Sharon, is slowly getting involved with a man who makes Sharon's friends and family uneasy. When he spirits her away to the Bahamas, they then lures her daughter down after them. Marty has no choice but to go to the island on a dramatic rescue mission, and I will be going on that rescue mission with her and soaking in the sun. Although today we had a really great day. I was able to sit outside for just a little bit and just get some vitamin D. So I'm looking forward to that. It is good so far. I'm liking it. It is like a police procedural mystery, and I used to like reading the Rachel Housel Hall. Her old procedural series was really good. It reminds me a lot like that. Um, so yeah, I'm enjoying that. So there is that. Okay, so those are the books that I'm reading for March: Mystery Madness, and for March in general, and the books that I bought, and for women's history. Let me know what you're reading. Did you read this? Am I going to need a box of tissue? Am I going to be angry? I don't know. I just feel like, yeah, I think I need to read this. I bought it a long time ago and I didn't. And I feel like that's kind of a sign that I saw that channel for that podcast going to read it. What I'll do is, because my memory really stinks, I will look up for the podcast because it's really good. She does really great interviews, and um, she reads books, and she does have, you can do a Patreon and join her book club. But I'm already in one right now with Read So Lit, and I really enjoy the ladies that are in our group, and I just don't know if I want to take on another one that would be virtual. I actually might actually be joining an in-person one that's at my local bookstore here. So I don't want to take on another one, but I did figure that even if I'm not engaged in talking with people, I can hear what their thoughts are and see if I align with what they're talking about when she goes on, because she talks with that author about whatever, and then the next time they meet, they talk about the book. They'll have read it. So I'm trying to see if I can get it done in time. So even if I don't, I think I'll still listen to it because I think it's okay. It's not like something's going to be spoiled. It's just going to give me more perspective. I missed book club this past book club, and it just there's just something special about being able to discuss with a group of ladies that really have great opinions and add insight to the experience. So I definitely look forward to seeing what they're going to say about this book, and we'll see. But I'm babbling. Let me know what you're reading. Are you doing March Mystery Madness? Are you doing the decades thing or their challenge or whatever? And how are you doing it? And just tell me. Talk to me. I will talk to you guys soon. I'll come back with my February wrap up. And I also want to talk to you about 5 books that I pulled from my shelf that I really want to get read this year. You know, everything else, blah. I am going to return to my TBR cart next month. I was going to do it this month, but I think, as you can see, I have a lot going on here. So I think I'm just going to not even try to pretend that I'm going to be able to read another book on top of what I've already talked about. So I will return to that next month. But I just picked 5 books that I have had, again, for a while that I really want to read to, that I feel compelled. Some of them because I've heard these authors interviewed recently, and it just kind of put a bug on me. So anyway, I'm still gabbing. I just want to keep talking to you guys. Anyways, talk to me and tell me how you're doing, and let me know what you're reading, and I'll talk to you very soon. Bye.